Hey guys, let's get into talking about Warcraft 2 Remastered that was released late 2024 for the franchise's 30-year anniversary. I covered the first Warcraft's remaster on a video a few months back, basically going over the updates that were implemented, from the obvious one being the visuals, and some other key quality of life features that modernized the game. Warcraft 2 on the other hand is not as clunky and as outdated mechanically than its preceding game. It also should be mentioned that Warcraft 1 has never had any updates at all since its launch. Warcraft 2 on the other hand has had an enhanced version that was released in 1999 called Battle.net Edition. The main focus of this update was to allow Warcraft 2 multiplayer capability through the growing Battle.net Blizzard created in 1998 for StarCraft. But of course, came with a few quality of life features that brought the game over the hump of outdated gameplay to a forever playable RTS. So what updates and changes would this remaster bring to the table? Shockingly, not a whole lot, because any other needed quality of life updates were taken care of on BNE. The most notable update on Warcraft 2 Remaster is the visual changes. The sprites and portraits seem to have been redrawn, but they appear to be very similar to the old ones, which I actually thought was better executed instead of the visual change in Warcraft 1, where there were issues with the scaling. It really does get unbearable for the eyes when you play the Warcraft 2 Remastered version for a long time and switch back to the old low-res graphics. The UI has had a visual update, making it look sleeker and has more of a design instead of being a boring single color. Just like in Warcraft 1 Remastered, the unit selection has been up to 12 from 9 in previous versions. Not a big difference, but it looks like they wanted to keep it consistent with both remasters. The OST remains the same, but I don't think it's something that should have been touched with, because I think it's one of the best composed for a video game. In terms of other changes, I'm thinking this is mostly it. Campaigns are all the same as before, no new units or content added. This goes back to my issue I had about Warcraft 1 Remastered on my last video. There isn't enough changes or additions that make it worth it to play. I beat both remasters within 2 weeks after their launch, and while it was a lot of fun and brought back a ton of memories, I would have the same feeling if I played with the originals, especially Warcraft 2. Which had almost no quality of life updates. One thing I do have respect for is that a month after the remaster's launch, Warcraft 2 was given a balance update for the first time since BNE, and the balance updates were many issues players have complained about. The first and most yearned for was to nerf the overpowered Ogre's Bloodlust, dropping it down to double damage instead of 3 times, ignoring armor previously. The update also made the Archers, Trolls, and Rangers Berserkers less useless, though still not as effective as Warcraft 1. Their base damage has increased, and their basic weapon upgrades have doubled in damage. The Ranger Berserker upgrades are much less costly, and they also have given them a bit more HP. It would have been nice if they allowed them to benefit from the Blacksmith armor upgrades, since they are frail, but you can't have everything that makes sense. There were a few other minor balances, such as the Knight's healing cost went down from 6 to 5, and the Mage's cast range also moving closer from 10 to 12. Still, this was very impressive, and I didn't think they were going to update anything once it launched. But who knows, they may add in other updates in the future if enough of us demand it. Warcraft 1 and 2 were one of the first RTS games that got me into the genre, so these remastered had a ton of sentimental value, which is the main reason as to why I purchased them. I did say in my last video that the battle chest was not worth purchasing, but I may have to go back on my word on that, because I was mistaken for what the remastered battle chest contained, thinking that it was only 1 and 2, neglecting that it included Reforged. Mind you, Reforged has not been a good remaster at all, but still, to have 3 games for $40 USD, making Warcraft 1 and 2 remastered about $10 to $15 each, is worth it, despite lacking any new content and minimal quality of life updates. I do find it weird that you can't purchase each game separately though. If for whatever reason you don't like the remaster's changes, there are some options to revert it back to the original. Most importantly, the visual change, music, and a few other UI features. Though the remasters cannot revert back to original gameplay, meaning those quality of life updates such as the 12 unit selection can't be reverted. For some, this is disappointing that prefer to play the game in its original state, as the few quality of life features have significantly lowered the difficulty level of the game, specifically for Warcraft 1 Remastered. Although I did say it is worth it to purchase the remasters, I just don't think these remasters did the most to satisfy some of us old Warcraft fans, or did enough to attract new ones. What would have been better is releasing a new RTS in the Warcraft universe, maybe like a Warcraft 4? Long overdue, and I never think will happen, and we can all thank World of Warcraft for that. Before about 10 years ago, Blizzard was known to develop very high quality games, and you can certainly make a point that Warcraft 1 and 2 they released back in 94 and 95 started it all. Its success paved the way for the other series such as StarCraft, a space RTS, and Diablo, a hack and slash set in a dark fantasy. Of course, the Warcraft series didn't stop there and reached its peak at Warcraft 3, one of the best RTS of all time. 3D graphics, innovative gameplay mechanics, and an amazing story that seamlessly continued from the first two iterations.
We stand now upon the brink of destruction, for the reign of chaos has come at last.
And where I lost all respect for Blizzard is not when World of Warcraft was released, but when they came out and said that they will continue the Warcraft timeline through the MMORPG. As an original fan of the series and enjoyed countlessly playing all three games that were made as successful RTS, why would I suddenly enjoy a game that continues the series through an MMORPG? It's no disrespect to MMORPG fans, but the comparison is apples to oranges. RTS fans enjoy more of an independent, higher level of thinking and fast reacting play. MMORPG is a long-term social playthrough relying on friends and interactions to collect and explore.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Dragons!
Can you imagine if a prominent series such as Final Fantasy suddenly switched to an RTS? I enjoyed Warcraft not just for the story, but mainly because of how it is played. And just to let you all know, I have given WoW a try, and as I presumed before even playing it, it's not my kind of game. I also don't like to be bombarded with microtransactions and pay to win type of play. Another reason which I believe Blizzard conspired to switch the RTS genre from Warcraft to an easy moneymaker such as the MMORPG. What do you think? Should Blizzard look to release Warcraft 4? Would they keep the same storyline as WoW or branch off and create their own timeline? Can you name another well-known series aside from Warcraft that changed genres partway through the series? And we are not talking about spin-offs like Halo Wars, for example. Did you enjoy the Warcraft remasters, and do you think they are worth it? Feel free to comment on what you think about all these thoughts. I enjoy responding to them and I admire some of the in-depth ones you post. Also, please, if you can let me know your thoughts on the video, it would be appreciated whether you liked it or not. I know I have not posted as many videos as often, or as I want to. I've been busy with other things that need my attention, and also have had a mental block when writing script lately. I just couldn't think of anything good to write for the video. But thankfully, I think this has mostly subsided, and I should start uploading more videos. Thank you all for the support, and please, if you enjoyed the video, like it and consider subscribing. Take care, and later days.